get myself in trouble, but you don't want to hear that. Let's just jump right in.
Just any update on Amari's situation?
Yeah,
And
so-
what his status is?
Yeah, so imaging was really good, really positive. He's day-to-day right now. He won't do anything, just do free throws today. And we're hopeful that he'll be back soon, but we'll kind of proceed with all the caution and urgency that we possibly can.
Is there anything you learned from the two scrimmages that maybe you didn't know about your team?
I don't know if there was a lot we didn't know. It's been fun to kind of watch pieces work together, and it's been fun to and kind of see little places, even in these two scrimmages, these two exhibitions, where we just need to grow right now that are super important to us. It gives us some data points. You always love having numbers that you can coach your guys with, and so helpful that way. But no huge surprises.
I was going to touch on that, Mark. Is this team fun? Like, is it fun for you? It seemed like it was fun for the fans in those two exhibitions. Are you guys having fun?
Yeah, I think this is coaching these guys is our locker room's a good place, right? And we have guys that are like we talk about, that are humble and curious and want to be good and want to get better and we're going to absorb a bunch of frustration for sure and take some shots to the face from time to time, but I think it's a good group, and I think it's a group that has some resilience. It was one of the best things about the game. I don't even know what today is, but the game was a few days ago, wasn't it? Somewhere, all the days are the same, guys, So it was one of the things I was most proud of. So there's all kind of weirdness. Amari sat down. There was kind of that. We're playing weird rotations against a really well coached, good team, defending national champion team. And so we had all kind of in and out weirdness the first 14 minutes, and I think the score was 23-20, maybe at 6:02 on the clock, give or take a second, and. Or maybe it was actually all the way to 5:52 or 5:53, and then by the time we got down, within 3 minutes and 13 seconds, our guys had gone on a 17-0 run, and we hope that's a defining feature of our team. And it's two things about it. One is the first part of that is that our guys are super resilient, and we have a team that can go fix things. Like, we're a veteran team. We see the game. We understand the game. We can go fix things. And then the second part is we know it's always coming, man. As aggressive as we are offensively and as solid as we can be defensively, we always know that it could be in the first 5 minutes of the game. It could be in the last 7 minutes of the game. There's going to be a 2 or 3 minute run that's kind of a death knell where our guys, where we get it done. And so I like those two features of this team, that this group is really, really resilient. Like, we're good at fixing things, and then we know something really fun is just around the corner for BBN and for our team, the way we play. So it's a good space to live, and it was good to experience that, our guys to actually experience that in the game the other day.
Mark, you talked to the fans after the game about shooting slow, not a slump, but a streak where they might miss 11 or 13.
Yep.
You just said that doesn't faze me.
Yep.
How long did it take you as a coach when you adapted this style to get over those streaks where you weren't getting, because you knew a good streak was on the way?
Yeah, well, I think one of the best, I hate saying these words because they're not, one of the best basketball minds, or one of the people in basketball that I look up to and admire and learn so much from was George Karl. I got to play for Coach two different times, two different teams. I think technically he fired me twice, and but Coach had this incredible ability to not be a scoreboard watcher. He was always talking about, you could go into you could go into the second media timeout and it could be 26-11 and everybody's really fretting, but he's like, no, we're fine, guys. The energy in this gym is right. We're actually playing right. Like, everything we're doing is right. We're executing. We're seeing the game. It's just some things haven't gone our way, but if we kind of stay on this path, we're going to be good. And there'd be times when we might be up 15. And we come to time and be like, all right, listen, guys, we're not right now. Don't get tricked by this scoreboard. We've just made some ridiculous shots, and this is not quite right. And I thought he was brilliant at not being a scoreboard watcher, but being an energy reader. And I actually think the game asks us for that. The game is asking us to don't be distracted by it's kind of like the stock market, right? If you're an incredibly wise investor, as I am, which is not true, then you know that you're long term, you're ready to roll with some of the blips that happen in the stock market. But over the 10-year, you're kind of watching trends, and that's how we try and act with our team. That's really hard to do because it's emotional and it's intense, and BBN is we're all going to fret together, but it works, and our guys feel it. And that's this idea of like knowing, hey, the energy's right in this building. We're going to fix some things, and then there's going to be a big time run coming, and let's go be prepared to enjoy it and catch it.
Mark, interacting with fans after the game, is that something you've always had your teams do? Is that something you just decided to do here, and you're going to do it all year?
I think it's really important, especially here, right? You guys are tired of me saying this already. I haven't even coached a first official game, but this is Kentucky's team, right? And we're blessed. I mean, we had more fans show up to games than any team in the country last year, and so we're in this together. Here's the truth: like when things go great, we're going to run in the locker room and we're going to celebrate the same way that everybody leaving this arena is celebrating. Everybody at home that didn't make it into Rupp is celebrating in their living room, right? And if it ever happens that things don't go well, we're going to be in the locker room anguishing and suffering, just like every single person walking out of Rupp, and everybody at home is going to be suffering. And it's one of the things that makes BBN special. And so every touch point we can have to keep us together and bring us together is really important.
Mark, can you speak to the defensive challenge that Wright State might pose for you guys on Monday night? They've got the Conference Player of the Year, Brandon Knowles,
Yeah.
who can score at a good clip and also rebounds and blocks and does all that stuff.
Yeah.
Big man positions as well.
Yeah, Brandon Knowles, really, really talented, and they have a really talented roster. Last year, they were one of the top 3-point shooting teams in the country. They were one of the top scoring teams in the country, and they've had incredible success, and we expect them to be everything that they are, which is a really, really, really dangerous offensive team for anybody in the country, and I'm sure that they're going to come in and give us everything we handle.
Mark Jackson said after the game that when Amari went down, there was a little bit of an adjustment period with Ansley at the 5. How did you think he fared there, and how comfortable is he if he has to step up there?
Yeah, we played Ansley a little bit at the 5. We played we played Andrew Carr a little bit at the 5. We played Trent Noah a little bit as a 6'5.5" 5. How tall is Trent? 6'5"? I'm giving him 6'6", just because he's from Harlan. Like give him the love. And it was okay. We haven't spent a lot of time in that space. We will over the next couple of days. It's going to be important. And you know what? One of the great things about this game is it forces you to grow, right? And so it just every little setback is really just an opportunity to learn more and grow more and diversify the ways we can play. And so certainly that was one in this game, and we made progress from the 16-minute mark of the first half through to the end of the game, and so it was really useful time that way, and we'll continue to do that.
Mark, how has Kobe kind of acclimated himself to this offense, especially after sitting out a little at the beginning of the summer, and how important can he be in those kind of offensive runs you're talking about?
Yeah, Kobe is he's a dangerous man for sure, and he's he's got the ability to go get a bucket on his own. He's obviously a lethal shooter. He's been guarding very, very well for us. He brings an unbelievable personality and dedication to the game, and a great connector on our team. He's going to be massively important for our team. His by the time he's done here, he's going to have done some really incredibly special things at Kentucky.
Coach, in terms of preparation, how much, what will that process look like in terms of scouting? Which coaches are doing what in terms of game prep and things like that? Just how will you approach actually the season opener?
Yeah, so we have we got the whole staff engaged, as they will be in everything. We're very much a community organization, and so we'll have everybody hitting this hard. We kind of divvied up all the responsibilities in terms of, like, we have coaches in charge of sets and personnel and scouting their defense and kind of going down the line. So it's, every game is the most important game that we've ever played, and certainly this one is Monday.
Brandon's got a lot of talent, obviously, you can see it, a lot of raw talent. He's got a quick trigger. I mean, me and Brian Mano, we're laughing in that first exhibition. See, he was quick on those couple mid-range.
Oh, he's going to shoot it.
He missed them, and he pulled it, and then he pulled that three. So what does it look like for him? Obviously, he's developing.
Well, what I loved about Brandon, Brandon fatigued pretty early in the game. He barely made it down the court, but when that ball hit his hands at the top of the key, he was like, I'm firing this one away. He looked fresh as a daisy. It was beautiful. He can really shoot it, man. He's going to, I'm telling you, you can see the DNA of guys. You see how guys progress, and Brandon Garrison is going to be, he's going to be a terrific shooter as he moves forward. Like, it's just part of how he is. He's going to be really effective that way, and every time he gets an open one, I love to see him shoot it, and he's gonna hurt some teams this year, and certainly moving forward, it's going to be a part of his game that's really important.
There are some guys that aren't hitting them though, maybe weeks, months down the line. How do you go about maybe retracting the green light a little bit for certain guys? Do you even?
Yeah, we don't do that.
How does that work?
You drive you guys all crazy. You'd be like, "Are you really?" It's part of the game. So guess what? If you're trying to scout us out and someone hasn't shot well the last couple games, watch out, because the numbers bear true. Every time you miss a shot, you're one shot closer to making one. Like, that's just the truth. That's the data. That's the numbers. And so you kind of got to pick your poison. The numbers might say, hey, next game don't guard Jackson Robinson because he was 8 for 12 last game. So chances are the numbers will say he's not going to make his first one, right? I wouldn't do that, because Jax is just that way, man. He just like to prove it. And BG is 0 for 3 right now in our exhibition games, and so chances are he's going to make the fourth one, because he's better than a 25% shooter. So you better guard him. It's kind of that staying power of just trusting how this game is in the karma, and especially if we earn these shots right. Like the one BG took the other night was perfect. It was wide open. Ball got to the paint, got kicked out, and I want him to take that shot every time. He's going to make a lot of them.
Mark, after the exhibition, you mentioned it was good to get Kerr out there under the lights. How important was that to get him some actual live reps after he didn't play in the first exhibition or in the blue light?
I don't know how important it is. He's a vet. I mean, he started 2.5 years at Arizona and on great teams, and started in the Big 12 last year for a whole season. So it's not like we're putting a rookie out there, but I think it was good for our team just to feel him. And what's interesting is, like, the challenge for our guys, can you keep up, right? Kerr's racing down the floor so fast that he's like, where is everyone? Catch up, boys. And that's something we need. And so it was good to see that and feel that. And our guys are going to really, really enjoy playing with him.
Mark, when you were watching the game, or afterward when you were looking at the video, what popped into your head as to we need to get better here?
Yeah, I haven't been super excited with us on the glass right now. Our consistency, we haven't had the presence on the offensive glass that is vitally important to how we play. Like, we have got to have a presence on the offensive glass, and I think there were some times we got lackadaisical on the defensive glass. So I'd like to get much better there, much more sure there. This Minnesota State team is a terrific shooting team. Both teams are really good shooting teams. I felt like there were some times where we were, we talk about early help, early recover all the time. The early help is to get to the early recover, and a lot of times we were actually recovering to the gap instead of recovering to the shooter. And so, that's really important. That's a place where we have to grow. I felt like our navigation through zooms and trips and staggers, I felt like our navigation was a little bit stubborn, more than it was slippery and clever. And so to be there on the catch and really confident that you actually can reroute. And so that's a space that I would really like to grow in. We got a bunch of areas where we're excited to grow. I thought we were a little disheveled in terms of kind of getting to the next space in our offense. Our second lifts weren't great, not only because we were closing the gap down, which we don't like to do. We like to keep that expanded, but also because sometimes it was non-existent. Sometimes, again, there was a little fatigue on the floor. Sometimes we race down the floor as a rim runner and then just camp out on the block, never getting to a second lift because that's 5 extra steps. It can be exhausting.
Marcus, Ortega doing things even better than you expected.
He's been terrific. No, it's who he is. It's why we recruited him here. I think he's a big time player. I got to play against him last year. I got to see him up close, not just in the game, but also doing pretty extensive scouting. He is everything that he's been advertised to be. He's incredibly physical. He's an elite level defensive player that can cause real problems. He's unbelievable to the rim. He's got a terrific motor. He can really do some damage on the glass. He's going to be a really important piece for us.
What's the schedule between now and Monday night? Is it just practice as usual, or are there any team specific things that are maybe special in the position?
Yeah. So well, we have. We'll have a really important practice today, and tomorrow is obviously a huge practice, and then we're going to finish up practice at the Hoops and Heels, which is going to be unbelievable. I'm so excited about it. It's going to be really special. We've got it's going to be actually really fun. You're probably the only one that's invited-ish. Yeah, yes. And so I'm really excited. Mostly I'm excited because I get to do it with Leanne and the girls, so that makes it super special. But all the guys will be there, so we'll have that. That'll be our last preseason, circus type event, and then we'll really continue to hone in and get ready for Monday.
Mark, 2 games of film now with Colin Chandler going out against outside opposition. I know he's probably still progressing in that ramp-up process, but do you feel like he's back at the pace of the college game? Obviously, it's an adjustment for him as a first-year guy, but just your thoughts on what Colin's been able to do.
Yeah, I loved his film. I actually loved his film from this most recent exhibition because you can just see him. When I recruited him, I've been recruiting for it seems like 20 years, right? It's been a long time, and when you see, we talk about deciders on the court all the time, and his processing speed is really incredible. And you started to see some of that in this most recent exhibition. He's got a burst that is a little bit unique on our team, and his ability to turn hips and get downhill without even having an action. And then the way he played off 2 feet in the second half, he had an unbelievable, the ball ended up in his hands, not as a pass ahead, but as almost an outlet. And he raced down and got a quick in and out and got all the way downhill, drew in 2 defenders, got both of them up in the air and just dished it off to Ansley for a nice little quick. He's got an ability now to get from point A to point B on the court in a really, really special way. Also defensively, I think he's taken massive strides. Like his ability to navigate bodies, to be there on the catch is really special. I think he's got a huge upside, and so we're going to continue to watch him progress. I've coached these kids that have taken a 2-year hiatus a lot, and it's going to continue to be staggering to see how he develops over the course of the next 6 months as he fully gets his legs back and his timing back and his game back. But we're seeing really, really special signs from him right now.
One more. Mark, I want to ask you, Ortega, go out there. He scored 7 of the first 9 points against Kentucky Wesleyan and 7 of the first 10 against Minnesota State. Was that him just reading the flow of the game, or did you challenge him hey, take over this game from the beginning and set a tone?
Well, I'm really proud of him that way, and that has not come from me. That's come from him. What he's done is he's just taken the opportunities that are available and said, let's go. I'm going to be really downhill, and I'm going to be really forceful. I think his physicality to the rim is special, and it's also partly due to his teammates. When you prep to play us, you have got to guard the 3-point line. So I think what's been fun for Ortega is he's racing down to the rim. He's where is everybody, right? I think he's had that experience a little bit. He's where are, normally I'm running to a second and third defender, and he's being smart enough about where he attacks and aggressive enough that he's ended up at the rim with half a body to finish over, and he's actually pretty good at that. And so I love the fact that he's coming in really aggressive, and hopefully that'll continue.
Can you talk about the Hoops for Heels real quick, just since I'm not invited, obviously, but
Yep, not invited, my friend.
How cool is that you're doing that?
Yeah, well, listen, this is Coach Cal. He started this when? 10, 15, 30 years ago, something? Yeah. And it's an unbelievable event. It's a great thing that he started, and we just want to continue on with that and hopefully grow it and expand it. I'm actually excited, as a dad of 4 daughters, and it's truly like epically spectacular. Miss Leanne, it's just it's going to be really fun, and you talk about being all in on the Cats, and this is going to be really fun. It's going to be fun to be in the gym. It's going to be really special, and so we got a bunch of fun things planned, a little bit of new, and I can't wait.